All right, Ken.
What time is it?
It is Inflatable Falcon time. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Whoops, I
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I've been running scams on the street since I was 10.
Hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. So grab your gear and join the crew. Mike and Ken got a show for you. Laughs and stars and a galaxy far. The Falcon's ready, let's raise the bar. Hey! Hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. So grab your gear and join the crew. Mike and Ken got a show for you. Laughs and stars and a galaxy.
All right, Ken. We made it once
Whoa.
again.
Nice.
Happy Wednesday.
For sure.
Yeah, so before we get started, before we remember everything else we wanted to say, where can people find you, Ken?
Well, most Wednesdays I'm right here in the co-pilot seat. Oh, my camera's off. I apologize.
No, your camera's on.
The chats seem to be
Ah,
coming on my end of the world.
I got you.
Yeah, so when I'm not on the Falcon, I can be found bounty hunting across the galaxy with Todd and Ken. And then I've got this little show that I've had a few years of putting together called The Rambling Star Wars Fan. And every so often I sit down around the Dejeric table with the guys from Bantha Milk Podcast, Robert, David, and Tom, and we talk about random questions and take turns answering. How about you? Because I know you've got a bunch of irons in the fire, as they say.
Well, I'm here every Wednesday, and we're getting better at being on pretty close to 8:45, helping Zoe with Star Wars Geek Girl and the 501st cast. We just on the 5th, we had our latest episode, and we'll be recording our next one in the next couple of weeks for, I can't believe I'm going to say it, April 5th is already here. I mean, it'll be here soon.
And a whole bunch of bumpers were sent in. That was exciting.
Yeah, that was really nice for all the people that sent in bumpers and stuff like that. And I see we have one of our favorite new Mandalorians on the way. He's on our show too, chiming in for Spartan, so that's cool. He's probably getting ready for Zenkai Con, is my guess, because I saw Safi is working on some costume that I have no clue what it is, and that just means it's Zenkai Con season. So
nice. It's also, I think, Awesome Con is this weekend.
Oh, Awesome Con is this early?
I think.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I have to get back.
I got to get to that.
We just had our regional robotics tournament Saturday, so now I can get back to getting home before like 6:30 every night and being able to check more of the board. So,
how'd the team do?
Did all right. I mean, at one point, they were in third place, the one team, and they were just like one win away, and they probably would have made it to the top two, but that's just how it always is. But it went really well. I mean, it's a new team. Like my team's this robotics team is only a year old. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
So.
All right, Todd and Sue are here too.
Todd, Howard, and Sue, thanks for coming. Yeah, we're good. We need a tabletop, a table ready painting spot to go with Marcus's spot at our midpoint. So, and then we're on the eve here of Darth Maul. So, have you worked on anything, Ken, with this warm weather? Has it
unfortunately, the warm weather just started here yesterday, so not yet. And this weekend, I've already got big plans where I'm going to be out of the house. But one of the things I found really interesting is just the research that I've put into. I have several costumes in various stages of completion.
Yeah.
But this year, Todd has thrown down the gauntlet, or slapped me with it, however you want to describe it, and has challenged me with putting together an inexpensive costume based on some Star Wars property. And so I've been doing a lot of watching of the Star Wars Ewoks cartoons and Star Wars Droids cartoons. And I don't think I've ever put as much research into building a costume as I have for this. And I'm still in that deciding phase, but it's like, do I want that character? Do I want that character? Or what is it about that character that really interests me? And so that's been a whole lot of fun trying to figure out, because I've walked into this without a destination other than having a costume. It's not like I said, I want a sand trooper, or I want to be Darth Vader.
Right.
Watch something that I enjoy and pick something out that I want to build.
Well, and being someone who, one of the first costumes I built from scratch, like I built my TK, but that was literally a box showed up, did a little trimming and, stuck it together. But the Sabine costume for Zoe, the first Sabine, season 1, was in the same vein of what you're doing, in the sense that I was watching these cartoons and there was I think there was maybe one other person. So I even had it a little easier than you that had made a costume or two. But yeah, it's a different animal when it's animated, because like the laws of wearing and physics do not matter,
Yeah, exactly.
They ran into that problem when they built the first clones, the 501st did for Attack of the Clones, because they were all computer generated. There was no actual suits.
Yep.
So they were not nearly as wearable as I think people found. You don't see that many live action clones, even compared to animated clones. So that's cool. I've been tinkering around with these Mandos that I'm starting. Like I started laying out the pieces and all that. Oh, Anthony's on. Hey, Anthony. So I have.
Good to see you, buddy.
I have. I think I'm. Let me see. I guess I am 2/3 of the helmets for the young men that I'm printing it for are done. I just have to print their face plates. and then I have to print 2 for my 2 female anchors on my news crew. I have to print theirs, and I haven't decided which helmet that I'm going to do because I really like the Galactic Armory Fortnite helmet lines. You know, because
They
I
are
was
cool and very creative.
I was going to do Sabine and Bo-Katan, but in the time frame, I would either have to print a solid helmet, which that's okay, but print big, fail big. Where these Galactic Armory prints, we're not sponsored by them or anything, but these Galactic Armory prints are already split in a good way. Like I can get a Bo-Katan, it's split, and you have a nice, I just for the amount of time and speed I would like to get these costumes done, I don't really want to be filling seams, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and other than the main colors, have you thought about accents or extra things to bring them to like? Because I'm going to guess you're not going to, knowing you and the kind of costumes that you typically build, there's probably going to be some weathering involved and
Yeah,
things like that.
Well, it's funny you say that because it's like I do have some weathering plans, and I think the next hurdle that is tomorrow or this weekend's job is I want to figure out how to hinge the gauntlets because they just come smooth, and so I probably am going to use a either 3D print a hinge or make a piano hinge. You could just get a piano hinge like I did for the 3PO legs, like one of those big long piano hinges and cut it up. That just depends on how much 3D printing I feel like doing tomorrow. But yeah,
the other thing that you could do, not saying you have to do it, but have you seen those sleeves that they often use? I don't know if they're firefighter sleeves or whatever, but they're really thick material, and you could get those and cut them almost to the length of just the gauntlet, and so they put the sleeve on, and the one side of the gauntlet is attached to that, and because it's in a sleeve, it stays on. They don't necessarily need the bottom piece. They're not going for approval.
Oh yeah, my so what I was going to do, since I already printed them, I was going to hinge them and put the foam that you put in your window. It comes about that thick and it's adhesive. I was going to put 2 strips of that in, so then they could just squeeze it on. But I have to think about that. Maybe that's not a bad idea.
Because then it's just slide the sleeve on. If the sleeve is just long enough for the gauntlet, you won't see it under the gauntlet, and you don't. Like I said, they're not getting approved, and they're not going into space.
That's true. Yeah, I have to look at that. Yeah, the only I had the chest plates and ab plates printed. Shoulder bells. I do have some shoulder bells to print. The shoulder bells are just taking a little longer because I scaled them down just a little bit. Because it's kids, because I didn't want them to look like football players. But it's hard because the bells are actually pretty big on Mando armor. Like it's big.
They're supposed to be, especially like Death Watch. They're like the hubcaps almost.
Yeah. So, and then the soft goods. I think so. The kids that I'm making them for, they've never seen them, and I think maybe one of them even knows what a Mandalorian is. I just said so. They're just going to wear black sweats and then everything else. And then I'm going to look through my old fabric and make I have some really dark brown that I can make like a sash. And because I can't have I can't have any kind of weapons or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I can. Then I'd probably just lose my job. But I can't have any weapons I guess gauntlets are all right. But yeah, I'm going to and then we're going to do a fitting. And then just suit them up and film after school the week before May the 4th. So if it all falls together. But I'll hit up anyone that's in the area that wants to come on a Saturday and just because my picture dream perfect working on it would be have it all pretty much primed and ready, like not all the paint and the next stuff done. And then just go at it, like lay it out as okay, here's one suit, here's one suit, here's one suit. And then I got the kids' favorite colors. And then I wanted to accent every one of those, and put some weirds. Like I got to figure out how to make a falconish logo that looks Mandalorian-ish because our mascot is the Falcons. So I got to figure what I can do with that. But I don't know. It's something fun. It's something fun to get me back into doing all the costuming and stuff. So I think I got my brain back into trooping now. I just got to get my brain back into working in the garage covered in paint and all that good stuff. Get the
Makes sense
resin.
to me.
Get the resin of slushing. So, and I got to finish. I got to get Vader done because I'm also tempted to try to get Vader done for that. So then I can walk in with him as Vader, like walk in behind him, even though it's technically won't make sense to all the Star Wars fans, but to the casual Star Wars fans watching the morning news at our school.
To the students and the teachers, it'll be cool. Even let's be truthful with this. Even if your Vader was 90% done,
yeah, I could probably wear it like it is.
It would still be 100% okay with them.
Yeah. That's that's true. But yeah, it should be. I mean, it should be a lot of fun. That's my costuming. I've been playing around with fixing like Sappy's 000 needs some serious work just because of the age and how bad people are in cons, just smashing into you. So April. Oh, there we go. Anthony, speaking of trooping, April 10th through 12th, Steel City Con.
Steel Con?
Yeah, Steel City Con is my favorite con, except when the DoubleTree went out. So hopefully I don't know if the DoubleTree is back open or not. But Steel City Con was definitely one of my favorites, especially when the girls were younger, because you literally could just stay right there. I mean, we did every Steel City Con for probably 4 years there. We went to every single one, all three. But I'm not an autograph guy, so it doesn't really. If you're an autograph person, Steel City Con is the one to go to. Like they're probably going to start booting people out of the con floor just so they can put more, autographs and stuff, which is funny.
Yeah, if things go right by the end of this month, we should be hearing about Fan Expo Philadelphia.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, I don't think I'll be there in April, to be honest with you, because I'm getting ready for Fan Expo. That's my. I mean, I can't say never because it is a nice trip out to Steel City, but like I said, it's a good con. It's crowded, man. It's a good. Ari's the swimming trooper. He wears the swim trunks and the flippers and I have a video of him dancing with R2 one time. But
that's fun. How about floaties? Does he wear floaties?
Yeah, I don't know if he has. No, he has like a duck inner tube around him or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm affiliate Fan Expo. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope we hear about our panel, to be honest with you.
We have enough proposals, and at least one of them has to get chosen.
Yeah, and I guess I should put one in for the 501st cast too. I got to talk to those guys.
I thought you did.
They put something in, but I don't know if they put in. I put in for a panel for us, and I don't think
for the Falcon.
Yeah, for the Falcon. I put in one for us. I didn't put one in. I should put in one in for the 501st cast too. I'll be instead of Mike Hinton, I'll be Michael Hinton.
Because you can't be Mikey because you already got a Mikey on.
We got a Mikey. Yeah, he is the first Mikey I've ever met. It's funny. Like that. Actually, that's the name he goes by.
Willingly, even.
Willingly, yeah. I've never been called Mikey. I mean, I'm sure I have been, but I don't really. That was never. That was so. But yeah, we have Darth Maul coming out. We have Celebration looming on the horizon.
Well, let's also remember that we've got the Mandalorian Grogu, which will be coming out right before Fan Expo, because that comes out at the end of May.
Yeah, that's coming out. Well, table ready, man. Like Todd, it's Philly Fan Expo is pretty cool, and I think the Mando Mercs, everyone has something big planned.
Well, Mando Mercs this year, so they do regional gatherings, and the Mando Mercs are like that, and they're doing one for the Northeast region. So I don't know how many Mando clans that includes, because some states might have a couple and others might have one for several states.
Yeah.
But they're coming to Fan Expo as part of the Northeast region gathering. And so from what I understand, the Star Wars costuming clubs are vying for the largest piece of real estate that they've ever had at Fan Expo.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, because they were talking a little bit about that, I think, when you and I were at that troop. And Anthony, I did not send my submissions in yet for my Sand Trooper. I know I probably should. I'm just it's just one of those things. I'm just like, I'll get to it eventually. It's on the back burner with the Vader photos, and I think once I just got to get myself back to building again.
So as it stands right now for Fan Expo, we have 3 proposals submitted: one for the Falcon, one for the Rambling Star Wars Fan, one for Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy.
Yeah, and then now I got to see. I can't remember. We talked about it with the 501st cast, and then I honestly, it could have been me that dropped the ball. I don't know. Now that robots are done, and I'm not at school every single night. I had actually students. The students were off on Friday, and they chose to come in with a parent chaperone and worked on their robots from I think it was 9 in the morning till 3:30 during the day. So all of us in the robot world at my school just need a break right now. So, but then
you're gonna shut down for a while.
No, we're still doing it, but we're done competitions for the year. So we still meet during the week. They got to clean up their mess. They worked hard, but you ever make that really good meal and then you look at your kitchen, you're like, crap, now I got to clean this mess up. That's what our
it hasn't happened in a long time, but yes,
that's what our robotics I'm lucky enough to have my own. Actually, I have 2 robotics labs besides my classroom, but the middle school robotics lab is a giant mess. So my high school one's not quite as bad, but my boards are all covered with calculus and Calc 2 that they were teaching each other to make some wheel turn. So it looks like Goodwill Hunting and
a beautiful.
It looks like Oppenheimer and Goodwill Hunting all wrote out everything on the board. So
that's awesome.
But my one of my students did get a full scholarship for being on my robotics team to a technical school, so she was very happy.
That's awesome.
And we did have an R2 guy from the R2 builders 2 years ago brought the R2 by and let the kids look inside, my robotics kids. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm looking forward to Maul. I forgot to go look for the Jar Jar comic, so I got to go. I just didn't. The comic book store is just enough out of my way that I was like, But
there's a new Maul comic.
Yeah, there's a new Maul comic. Zoe just got caught up, I think, on the comic, she said. And she has March Madness going on. I don't know if you weighed in on her March Madness votes.
Just the first round.
I think round 2 is up now because I just voted on round 2. So anyone watching, make sure you go jump on March Madness for my daughter's. I'm voting for Ajax Citizen. Just saying, if you know, you know. If you know who Ajax Citizen is, that's a deep cut. That's a really good deep cut. But yeah. And then you have the costume. Are you going to when you're debuting your costume on Thanksgiving?
No, Halloween.
Halloween. Halloween.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I dress up differently for Thanksgiving.
You dress as a turkey.
Pretty much.
Now, so do you have any troops coming up?
Nothing formal, no. Because I've got this trip planned for this weekend, and then I haven't looked into April yet.
Yeah,
I'm holding out for Fan Expo.
yeah. Well, there's Fan Expo, and then I was also thinking there's probably some St. Patty's marches. I know there's usually one in Harrisburg, like the troopers troop that. I gotta look when that is. I might be up for a parade, but we'll see. Who knows? We have I think no, Zoe sent me all the toys coming out for Mando, the new toys.
Oh, there's a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And
Yeah.
So there's even a little, it wouldn't be Star Wars without some sort of fan controversy. So many of these toys are slated to be released on March 22nd to coincide with the premiere of the show.
Right.
Well, some stores have gotten these toys early, and the team at those stores have put them out on the floor, and they've done one of two things. They've either put them out on the floor and have started selling them, even though, according to their whatever, they're not supposed to be selling them yet, or they're putting them out on the floor with these signs on them saying not for sale until March 22nd. And so people are all sorts of antsy and twisted and frustrated and annoyed with those steps.
Oh, for Darth Maul stuff.
For Star Wars stuff, period.
Oh.
So some of these new toys aren't supposed to be put out until a certain, they call it the street date.
Yeah. No, because I know that's happened in the past. And like you take it up to Target. I've run into them like, hey, this is cool, and I pick it up, and then it just comes up 0, and then they're like, now you can't buy it. And then it wasn't bad because my kids were older, but I could imagine like if you're taking your little kid to get their, I mean, most Star Wars toys are not bought by little kids, but if there was some weird chance you were buying it for a small child or a small adult that might get upset, and
adult who behaves like a small child.
Well, that could be. I mean, did you ever go to one of the Force Fridays?
Oh goodness, yeah, absolutely. Because the kids, they were as excited about staying up until midnight to get toys as we were. And I have had those situations where you get that, you see that thing on the shelf, you're like, oh, this is cool. You bring it up to the register, you scan it, and product not found or whatever, and you have to call someone to come and help you. And they do one or two things depending on the employee. And I'm not naming names, so I'm not outing any employee. But sometimes, like, do you know how much this was? Yeah, $19.99. Okay, they ring it up and they send it to you. And then there's others that look into it like, oh, I'm sorry, sir, we can't sell this to you. Even though yes, we put it out on the shelf, and yes, you found it, and yes, you brought it up. We can't.
Well, because I trooped a bunch of those Force Fridays. So like I guess I trooped the first toy whatever was one. It was one of my first troops was the midnight release of Clone Wars merch, and that was pretty neat. Like we did that at Toys R Us. As companies to troop for, Toys R Us wasn't the best to troop for. They're like, oh, there's a case of water and here's a really crappy changing room, and like that was it. And I think they wound up giving us a poster or something like that. But it was a fun troop. Like it was, because that was relatively new. Like people showed up and we were walking the line because they didn't let them in till midnight. Like they closed. Toys R Us closed at whatever their regular time was, and then they opened up at midnight, and you could only go into certain sections of the store. And we stood by the doors. It was fun. And then I trooped the I think I trooped the Force Awakens one too, or something like that, which was kind of neat. And I like those midnight madness. Like it was just fun. It was just because it was one of those things.
Well, that's like when those sort of things were seen as and treated as an actual event. Something that they would announce. You'd put it on your calendar. People would get, not even just to troop it, but just to go and be there in the mix of things, almost like the equivalent of going to a movie, except you're not watching anything. You're just coming home with goodies to play with.
Well, GameStop used to do it with game releases, like not just
Yep.
Star Wars, but all game. Like I remember
Oh, yeah.
showing, I showed up for the Battlefront. It was me, Mike Bryant, and Marty. Marty drove his R2, and I came in my TK, and Mike Bryant came as his AT-AT driver, and we just walked in. It wasn't a troop. We just walked in because I had pre-ordered one, and if you pre-ordered one, you got a raffle ticket to win some stuff.
Mhm.
And so we won the big giant Battlefront stand-up, which was kind of funny. So, and then there was a couple times I took the girls dressed up, like when Force Awakens was released on DVD. Zoe went in as Sabine and Safi went as Tusken. We just walked in Target. They just walked in Target and checked out, like dressed in full costume. So we just made an event of it. But yeah, I mean, I haven't checked the boards this week. My goal was to check them before today, and I just honestly I forgot to check the boards. But I'm hoping that troops start showing up for the movie. Like I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything at King of Prussia for Darth Maul, or even for Darth Maul.
Yeah, I looked and I didn't see any Darth Maul like pre-screeners or anything like that. So I was hoping, but
and it makes me like I don't understand how this works. I'm not in the biz,
yeah,
so I don't understand why some things they do it for and other things they don't.
Yeah.
Or why some things get attention and they and other things don't. I mean, you and I saw the Acolyte together.
Yeah.
You and I
Skeleton
saw
Crew?
Skeleton Crew, the first couple episodes of Skeleton Crew, and it's a Disney Plus show, and they put a couple episodes out in the theater, and it was pretty cool. I mean, the energy level and the interaction between the fans was okay. I mean, it wasn't knock your socks off awesome, but it was still fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And watching it on the big screen and surrounded by the big screen sounds, and because you had to sign up for these tickets, they gave you a drink and some soda pop.
Yeah.
Or some popcorn and some soda pop. So I mean, what else could you really want? Oh, and a poster.
A poster, yeah. And we had the board to get our picture taken with.
Yeah, so that they made it something. They built up some enthusiasm and some energy for it, even if it was for only like 70, 80, 100 people, however many went.
Yeah.
And I miss that, and I hope, even if it's not for Darth Maul, I absolutely positively hope for Mandalorian and Grogu that there's those kind of events and there's that kind of energy for the first week or 6 of the movie.
Yeah. Well, it should be a good summer movie. I did that. The last something like that was Superman. I got early tickets for Superman. I had to pay for them, but it was like a 2-week early screening or something like that for the Superman movie, which was pretty cool.
The latest one?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. Hey, we're at the halfway mark. So we're gonna give Marcus some plugs. So
cool.
let me see if I can find it. But this is Marcus. He's actually in our background. I think he's the far back stormtrooper right there next to the officer. I think that's Marcus because his armor is like so pristine. But this is Marcus's business. If you're looking for some cool t-shirts to wear to your premieres, check them out. I feel like big time because we have a commercial. The other best commercial I saw lately is the Magic Jumps latest commercial where it just says when your favorite coworker comes back from vacation. So if you just want a quick laugh about
well, why don't you have that queued up already?
I know I should have probably downloaded, but it was just it was a lot thing. So yeah.
That's something that we should absolutely positively figure out another way of having a return visit from our buddies at Magic Jump.
Yes, we definitely do. Yeah, we definitely have to have Magic Jump on. I have a guest for next week, so hopefully it all works out for next week, and we'll see how that works out. You're a hard person to fill your shoes, Ken. So I had to look long and hard for someone new to. I was thinking of asking Todd, but then I was like, that's half our audience right there. We'll it's just like when we were recording the latest Shakespeare. I was like, oh, there's no one listening. I was like, oh, that's right, because we're all podcasting right now. So
everyone who would be listening is now part of the crew.
Right. So yeah. So I had a question and my mind went blank. I think it's just like nice weather thing. But so we have this group on Facebook, the what's it called? The something costuming group for doing movies. I forget what we named it now. What did we call it? That Matt used for us that we put on. What did
that was the Pennsylvania something or other.
Yeah. But I keep thinking like we need someone to just write us a script so we have an excuse to go back there. Just write us a script. Ken wants to get his pink shorts out. I want to get my Sand Trooper back out.
How do you know I'm not wearing them right now?
Huh?
It's actually called the Central PA Star Wars Costumers Fan Film Movie Group.
Yeah, there we go.
Sounds like I would have. That's a title I would have given it.
That's like the worst name. It's
like 97 syllables.
Yeah, what acronym does it come out to be? Because that's probably a really bad acronym too.
C Pass Wooka. Yeah. It's too many letters to be a useful acronym.
I know when we made it, I didn't want it to anyone to think that we were in any way trying to circumvent any 501st stuff.
Well, I mean, I just read the description and it doesn't say anything about it being a Lucasfilm approved costume club, so we're safe there.
So yeah, so we're if what's how you might be a redneck, you might be a costuming group trying to circumvent the 501st if the first line of your website is we are approved costuming group by Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
That's like the first red flag. I'm sure the Mandos have the equivalent. I'm sure there's a Mando, disgruntled Mando.
There's more than one.
Yeah.
There's and I know of at least 3.
Yeah.
And yes, they are the equivalent of we didn't like the approval process. We didn't like the regulations and the rules. We fill in the blank. And I still want to go to these events and potentially perhaps get in for free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just when I made that name, I was just like, I don't want people to think we're that kind of people. We're just a bunch of idiots in any costuming group that want to be in fan films.
That probably would have been a better title, actually.
Yeah. Well, and
just a bunch of idiots who want to be in a Star Wars fan film.
And I understand, like I know when I first made the group, some of the hesitation of the filmmakers were that the 501st was, and the Mando Mercs, I'm sure, were the same, was slightly a bit of a pain to get them together. And I think mainly because you're competing with charity events. So it was hard for like, it's different maybe in California where they're making movies all the time and that's part of your livelihood. But around here, you had to, we can't go visit this hospital because 50 of our troopers are,
Well, I understand the possibility and the potential.
Yeah.
Choosing a weekend that's on the same weekend as one of these events. I also am very much aware. I mean, we did it. We were there, and we had several people there with us, and it didn't compete with any event. And I don't remember anyone showing up saying, "What are you going to give me for being here?"
Well,
my daily stipend. Or
that's true.
You know,
I tell you, that was the longest I was ever in armor. I think. Because I mean, I was in it from morning until like that one day. I felt like we were like everything was being filmed in mud because I felt like we were just all moving slower than I
Are you
anticipated.
talking day 1 or day 2?
Wasn't it? Was there?
Because we filmed, at least that I was involved in, we filmed twice.
Right.
You know, and one day we had 2 cameramen, and another day we just had a cameraman.
Yeah, I think it was the one cameraman one. I felt like we were just all. It was hurry up and wait, which I know that's how movies are made. But you know, I'm gonna have a rider next time. I need like a peasant to let me sit on them. Like they just have to make like a human bench, so I can
Just bring a bucket.
Yeah, no, I just
Home
need a
Depot bucket
how
with
about
a
a
lid.
2x4 that I can just put at my shoulder blades, and I can lean.
Or look at the metal street post signs.
Yeah.
You know, so you slide that down your back and just lean it in, and then you just pluck it out of the ground when you're done.
Yeah, but no, that was.
So I almost think we should take a different approach. You had said earlier that you want a bunch of screenwriters to put together a script that we can go and do something. I say we gather that group of, I want to make sure I'm talking accurately here. So that Central PA Star Wars Costumers Fan Film Movie Group.
Man, that's a long name.
There's 124 people on the list. I'm going to guess with that 124 people, you could put together either commercials for the various things that we're involved in, whether it's commercials for the 501st. How cool would that be?
That'd be cool, yeah.
Those commercials could show up on, I don't know, the 501st cast or this show or Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy. So we've got that angle, so they could do some of those clips. A handful of them could come up with some ideas for like almost like Saturday Night Live sketches.
Oh yeah, hey, wait a minute. Maybe we have them pitch sketches, Ken. You're getting me now. Now you're getting me one more thing I need to not be involved in.
You know, so they could do those things, and some Saturday Night Live sketches are like 4 minutes long, 3 minutes long, and you film those and move on to the next one. Well, film that and move on to the next one.
I'm old, so every Saturday Night Live sketch to me lately is they should have quit at the 3-minute mark. They lose me the second half. I'm like, okay, I get it. No, that's not a bad idea. Well, okay, so here's my question. So let's say we have our costumers group. So let's just think of what we have. We have TKs, we know, right? We had we have? Biker Scouts, Snow Troopers,
couple officers.
That's pretty much all we had. We had
Chewie,
droid, C-3PO. Let's say we decide that this group needs, what would, if we were like, okay, we're only going to let people in, but you have to have X costumes. What costumes is our costuming group missing?
Well, you're missing all the other side.
Yeah. You're
missing the entire other side.
I was also thinking, especially maybe it's because it's every week we see it on our intro. We are missing pikes on this side of the country.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, you have access to those kind of details. I don't.
No, but I mean,
you can find out who the pikes are in this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, but have you seen anyone in a Pike's costume on this around here in person? Like there's a bunch out in LA. They're the ones that they do some really cool like videos.
I don't know if was there a Pike at Fan Expo the last time I was there? Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen any of the videos from Space Dive?
No. What's that?
Oh, my friend.
What is it?
It's called Space Dive. I'll send you some clips.
Where's it at?
Well, they had one out west. I don't remember where it was, but it was like a weekend trip where you showed up at this place.
Oh, and they built that town?
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
Space Dive.
Now, did you see... Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and they were legit in character the whole time, from what it looks like. At least from the videos and the clips and all that, and it's remarkable. It's just very, 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 very cool. But to get back to your other question, what else? So yes, we're missing all of the good guys, because you got a herd of, bad guys doing good that have shown up for that fan film because that was what was requested.
Yeah.
But then there's the folks in the middle, the bounty hunters, the denizens, the
Pirates.
the pirates, the smugglers, all of those. So there's a whole 2/3 of the Star Wars fandom that's hasn't been witnessed yet. I mean, I think in some of his early clips, Matt had some of the bounty hunters, but yeah, don't get me started on Thank the Maker. They stole our name.
Huh?
I'm kidding.
Oh, they stole. Yeah.
So they started in, I want to say, January of 2020 or January 2020, January 2019 or 2020. And the first podcast that I was ever on was called Thank the Makers. And the reason it's called Thank the Makers is because that podcast came out before ours did and already had the Thank the Maker name.
I'm telling you,
I think they're a great show.
Podcast naming is tough.
Yes.
Like it's, I mean,
heck, look at the Facebook group. We can't even get that to be easy.
Right. Well, because also like at a certain point you have to stick with it. You know what I mean? Like no matter, like because there are podcasts I see of keep changing your name, but then it's hard to get traction. Whatever little traction you want as a podcast. I mean, we have 10 people watching right now. I'm ecstatic. That's like 1 million listeners to me if I have, and on this thing. So.
Well, and they're also commenting as well, at least here through YouTube. We don't even know how many people are watching on Facebook and are able to get the comments shown.
And so if you are watching on Facebook or TikTok, the comments won't come through to us even on our new upgraded Restream. It just does not come through. So jump over to the Facebook link
we should do a tutorial with the Restream folks to figure out how to get the comments to show through.
I guarantee they're gonna be like, how old's your computer? That's probably what they're gonna say.
Yeah, but this isn't this.
No, I know. I know. Yeah. It's just,
or they could just say, "Did you turn it on, turn it off again?" Or
did you pull the cartridge out and blow in it?
Yeah. Jiggle the handle. Did you try that?
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. I mean, I'd like to again, and especially because I'm in the 501st and I do the 501st cast. I'm not trying to undermine the 501st cast, but I would like to see I'd like to see another movie or something get made. That was so much fun. And you weren't even in costume. You didn't even get to do the fun stuff.
Actually, I think I got to do more of the fun stuff because I didn't have to worry about the waiting stuff because I was constantly involved in something.
That's true.
Whether it was wrangling, because especially that day where we had 2 cameras going, sometimes I would be get this group over here, get that group over there. I mean, I was surprised that Matt and Jeff trusted me to do those things because they had never met me before that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I was surprised Matt, when I met Matt, it was right before COVID. And he had done the girls' show, Zoe's and Lizzie's show years before, and I was surprised that Matt was like, "Hey, can you get this and do this?" I was surprised he put a lot of that on me too, because he wanted to film that weekend when COVID hit. I was like, "Look, I don't know much, but I mean, they pretty much closed down our schools. I don't think anyone's going to be traveling."
They had announcements saying you're not supposed to be on the roads. I mean, it was that serious. We couldn't even do arbor parties. You couldn't go to work. We thought, this is a great time to get together to build stuff. And they said, no, you can't travel. Especially you can't travel across state lines.
Right. Right. But
have you left the country or left New Jersey? Because if the answer is yes to either of those, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was fun when we finally got to do it. We got to meet John. John slept in his car. Remember the first time I think he slept in his car at the gate.
Partway home, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he had been up for so many hours getting there from Ohio.
Yeah.
And then slept in his car around the way home just to make sure he didn't fall asleep while driving.
Yeah. So, But yeah, I mean that that's a still I still think that was probably one of the most fun places to even just take pictures.
Yeah, that's Matt, if you're listening, please take this with as much love as I'm intending it. Unfortunately, because we were so busy doing the things, we couldn't also do the other things.
Yeah,
I mean, if there was a possibility of dividing myself, cloning myself, so part of me was over here doing that and part of me was over here doing that, I would have absolutely loved it. Because how often do you get that many people in costume without the attention of I mean, yes, we had the occasional biker or hiker that would walk by and say, "What the hell's going on here?" and stop for pictures. But for the most part, it was just us in costume together, which we rarely have that many people together without the throngs of the library fans or the other members of the convention.
Yeah, and it was funny because I think we made so I have one of those rails behind my house, like those converted train tracks to walking path that runs from it. Actually, you can walk from my house. I'm pretty sure it connects to the one that we were at. The one it goes up the river and stuff. But so I'm on some of those internet groups, and our filming
Rails to Trails
made one of the Rails to Trails groups. It was like someone just like, were they filming Star Wars? And then people posted up a couple odd pictures of us. So
yeah, there was I think one person made like a joke about a Bigfoot sighting because they saw Chewbacca in the woods.
Yeah, that was. I mean that goes down as probably one of the most fun times in costume, I think. But yeah, because I think John was wearing my TK, I think. So I think
and he's wearing. I thought he was wearing somebody else's boots or something like that.
He was wearing cowboy boots. He had Star Spangled Banner or like cowboy boots on.
Okay.
Which was pretty funny. So, but yeah, I have to look at that group a little bit. Now you have your Saturday Night Live pitch worked on me because that makes sense to me.
Well, Saturday Night Live or commercials.
Yeah, no, I mean all of that. Like there's just a lot of creative people in that group. I'm gonna have to like go through the group and see who's in it.
Because we could do commercials for Garrison Corita. We could do commercials for the 501st. We could do commercials for fill in the blank Star Wars thing. Or the last episode of the 501st cast, you had a bunch of submissions. I'm not going to call them bumpers anymore. I'm just going to call them stingers or something.
Yeah, I don't know what
you could. I mean, every person who was there in costume could have recorded a live. This is TK420. From Garrison Corita.
Yeah,
move along. They all could have recorded 1 or 6 of those while we were together. And we could have also, considering what we've been doing recently, we could have been filming some small, behind the scenes clips or small interviews or whatever that we could pepper throughout our shows for the year. And that's what I'd like to do if we're able to all be together at Fan Expo in costume. Because I know Todd has mentioned he's considering going. Heather and I have already made arrangements to go. Even if we don't get chosen for the panel, we still plan on going for a couple days. Hopefully you'll be able to go even if you don't get a panel. And with us there together at the same time, we could do things for this show.
Yeah. I don't see why I wouldn't be there. I'm looking at this costuming group and I'm like, man, I didn't realize we had 124 members.
Well, we didn't have 124 people there in costume, but many people got added along the way who had expressed interest in being part of it.
Yeah.
Not to mention the folks that we know in the droid builders, or the Saber Guild or whatever. And that's why I think that space dive idea is so cool, where you got together with a bunch of people. You're not going to a convention. You're just going to hang out together, but you're not going to build something. You're going there in costume to just play. You're going there to, shoot videos and have conversations and take pictures. And that's the whole point of it the whole time. That's pretty cool because that doesn't happen on the regular.
No, it does not. It does not.
And I think Star Wars costumes, yes, they can be very cool in portraits and pose photographs and stuff like that. But I think Star Wars costumes are even cooler in number. So when you have the Jedi facing off against 3 stormtroopers, or 4 stormtroopers flanking Darth Vader, or the Emperor, and whatever, fill in the blanks. They just look cooler the more that you have together.
Oh yeah, and the other nice thing about it is, I was looking to see if Todd was a member, but he already is. The other nice thing is the backgrounds. There's that, so many things. Then you don't have to mess with backgrounds. Like how many pictures you get a good picture and like, oh, there's a car, there's a Chevy,
Or there's the grandpa walking a stroller behind, or the random convention sign that's on the wall, or fill in the blank with all the things that you wish you could figure out how to Photoshop out easily.
Yeah. No, so I was looking at this group, and so I've never done groups, but I like having groups on Facebook, and so I wonder, it gives you points for how active you are in it, which I never knew. So like Ken, you are 261 points on that. You are third. Matt is 1,300 points. I am 786, and then you are third with 261, right above Ned with 219.
Nice. Those.
I have no clue what that means, like how they determine points. It says due to contributions of the group.
It's through comments and likes and posts and things like that.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, well, there.
I know you and I have both, uploaded a bunch of our pictures to that, and
Right.
commented on them and questioned and stuff like that. So.
Well, so maybe in our free time of doing all the million things we are doing, we should probably kick the tires on that group a little bit. And
like I said, this isn't meant to be disrespectful, so hopefully it's not received as such. Expanding the group to beyond just the bad guys doing good, because that's what was invited to the filming, because that's what was needed on the day.
Right.
But you and I both know a handful of people that dress as Jedi, or denizens, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
or control droids.
Yeah.
And
then we can do a live show. I'm still depending on what happens with Fan Expo. I'm still thinking of a free comic book day live show from somewhere.
I'd like to do a post viewing of The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh, I'm definitely up for that. I'm definitely up for that one. I don't know if we got to do it. I don't know if we have to do it live, but we can at least record one.
Yeah, I mean, either one is fine. I mean, if we can align the stars, I'm sure that Todd would be down for something like that as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we might just have to find a common movie theater and a nice diner that we can go to afterwards.
Yeah, you betcha.
At the very least, we can go to a Sheetz and sit at their outdoor tables. Do they have Sheetz in New Jersey?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah, we're just the Wawa,
Yeah, we're getting a Wawa here in Quarryville.
Okay.
They basically tore down and rebuilt all of the one street, and someday it's supposed to be a Wawa put in. I don't know how.
Will it be a super Wawa, or will it be just a Wawa?
I don't know. I think they only put super Wawas in around here. They don't they don't put the smaller ones in anymore.
Okay. Because the super Wawas are the ones with the gas and the little store.
All of our Wawas have gas because we're allowed to pump our own gas out here in the in the outer. We're in the outer rim out here.
You plebes there in Pennsylvania. I don't have to pump my gas. I got people to do that.
Yep.
Here in
Yeah.
Jersey.
We have to pump our own gas. So
I still think it's so weird. I've been in New Jersey for 20 years. I'm like, I know how to do this. I've done it. Like, I promise I won't mess this up. I've done a lot of stupid things, but this I can handle.
well, enjoy it. You know.
Yeah, until I crossed the border, I'm like, how come no one's pumping my gas? Like, what is this?
I'm
Just
telling
some
you,
third world country.
it's the
What
outer
is this?
rim. It's the outer
Yeah.
outer rim.
Nope, Delaware.
So, yeah, but yeah. So spring coming up. We have to look at our troops. We have to get all our podcasts in line. We had at one point
we need a vegan armor party.
a vegan armor party. Yeah, I got to look at the schedule because I really got to do an armor party. Though again in April, I may have an armor come help me paint middle school kids armor day.
Yeah, sign me up.
And like I said, it's going to be just custom Mando all the way. I have to think of, like I said, I got to think of accessories and just like capes and like whatever those necker things they wear that just look like what's those things like they like Middle Eastern special forces wear them.
Yeah,
it looks
scarf.
Yeah, but I've seen some Mandos with scarves.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think of something.
COWL, a cowl. Sometimes they wear those.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. They got a second one. That's like in Maryland where I work in Perryville, which is a very, very small town. They have within walking distance 2 Royal Farms, and then about 2 miles from those they have another Royal Farms.
Well, that's so that by the time you get to the next one, your coffee is done. They want to keep you fueled. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I remember when I was in my younger days, when I would go on road trips, there were times where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the next gas station or not. Whereas now it seems like, you blink and there's a gas station, there's a gas station, there's a gas station, there's a gas station, and I still have this thing where whenever I'm driving, I won't let my range get to less than 100 miles.
Yeah, well, that's like Lancaster County. You pretty much every intersection has something, but like it's weird because to bring it back to Star Wars, one of my first Star Wars memories was Turkey Hill had slushy machines with the Star Wars cups. Like
awesome.
I got it was I want to say it had Jawas on it. It was just a thin one of them cheap, like printed on plastic cups. And I remember going to the Turkey Hill near me and getting my slushy with that cup on it. And I had that was like my pencil cup. And I think literally the cup just disintegrated when I was in high school. Like it just,
the plastic just got so thin and
it was just so brittle. Like just, it was like the Star Wars Happy Meal boxes that came from Burger Chef.
Oh, yeah.
They had to punch out Star Wars things. We had a Burger Chef in New Holland, and I got a couple of those too.
So, that's cool.
But
I think because you said Burger Chef, you might as well, play Marcus's commercial one more time before.
One more time, and then after Marcus's commercial, you're going to tell us where that people can find you again.
100%.
We must plug. But here's Marcus's commercial before we roll. All right, Clint.
I would love to see Marcus's head going across the screen as the TIE fighter roars by.
Yeah.
So when I'm not here making fun of, and I mean that with kindness and love for Marcus, and his commercial. I'm often on bounty hunting across the galaxy with Todd and Ken. I got this itty bitty show called The Rambling Star Wars Fan, and every so often I sit down around the Dujeric table with the guys from Bantha Milk Podcast. And please, Mike, tell everyone all the things and all of the places where they can find you.
All right, 501st Cast. Every 5th of the month comes out the new one. Star Wars Geek Girl, helping Zoe with that. Check out her March Madness. And here every Wednesday. And I'm going to try to fly it solo with the guests next week without Ken. We could pop. We wouldn't crash and burn here, but we could pop. But
is next week our 200th episode, or is that this week?
Oh my goodness!
Because I will feel really, really.
No, I don't think we're that close to 200.
Okay.
Let me hang on. Now you stopped us in our tracks. Let me see.
Well, it's our typical goodbye thing.
Yeah.
I say goodbye and then stretch it out for 15 minutes.
Yep. You must be related to half my relatives, and me. So you ever see that? Was it one of those commercials where they say we can save you money, we can't keep you from being your parents or whatever?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, oh crap, I do that. Oh crap, I do that. You know,
it's a good box. I don't know. It's a good box. I can use it for something.
All right, let's see. Last week was 192. You're okay. So this is 193.
So we can still plan for the big 200.
Yes, we can plan for the 200. Yeah. Yeah, look, see, there we go. Man, we have people. So yeah, this is 193.
Slither Spartan, I bow to you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yes. So, and since we were corrected, I got it in. Since we were corrected by one of our lovely fans, it is time to say goodnight.
Good night, my friends.
May the force be with you, everyone. Thank you. Thanks again.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I've been running scams on the street since I was 10.
Hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. So grab your gear and join the crew. Mike and Ken got a show for you. Laughs and stars and a galaxy far. The Falcon's ready, let's raise the bar. Hey! Hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey,